All right, the time has arrived. Take a look at the brand new 84-inch Snap-on Epiq. We'll start off on this side of the hutch. I've got all my rechargeable lights right here. I really like these ones from Snap-on. They're magnetic on the base and they go right into the charging cradle, so they always stay charged. Of course, I've got the computer right here. You can't get by nowadays without one of those. One nice thing Snap-on makes for this is this laptop tray right here. It bolts into the back, so it's not going anywhere. That is in there and holding that secure. I put my mouse and keyboard up there when I'm not using them. Keep all this work surface ready to be used. My ISO tunes, safety glasses, and shade 5 glasses for plasma cutting or torch are all right there. 1750 vise right here. Got the JS3000 jump pack in the back. I always keep that charged and ready to go. Programming power supply up there, keep that at 13.1 volts. I got a 12 volt battery right there, a little Milwaukee one. So if I need 12 volts, I have that too. Here I've got the leak tamer, smoke machine, evap test ports, all of that kind of stuff. Super handy machine to have right there. Got a small propane torch for when we don't have to heat things up too hot. Got my big slide hammer kit right here. Got the Snap-on pressure brake bleeder right here. This thing is pretty cool. It goes on the front side by the master cylinder and pushes fluid through. Then you've got a catch can on the other side. So there's no chance for having air bubbles with this system. You also get all the adapters in here for different vehicles. The last thing in this area is the Victor portable torch. These tote torches are really nice. Oxyacetylene, everything we need is in here, just ready to go. Top drawer right here, I've got all my air hammer bits stored in a piece of foam. Got my 6-inch claw. Got a flex hone for GM 5.3s. Got radiator adapters right here. Got the radiator pressure tester right here. Got the vacuum filler for the radiator system right here. Got the old valve spring compressor kit here. Got my chassis ear kit right here so we can find any noise anywhere on the car. The rest of the chassis ear probes, got some primary wire. This drawer is everything for brakes and oil changes, so I've got my oil filter wrenches back here. Got a digital dial gauge in here for checking wheel hub and rotor runout. Couple different oil filter wrenches. Lang brake pad spreader. I really like this thing. These are really nice. No damage to the brake pads whatsoever. Brake caliper hangers, roll lock disc for cleaning up the hubs and the studs, heat glove when you get to like your Chevy Traverse that has the oil filter buried down on the front and you always get your hand hit by something hot, bunch of different hose, line clamps, and covers, little vacuum tool here, some more adapters for the smoke machine, a GM fuel service port. Got a master set of fuel line disconnects. Down here, universal radio and antenna remover set. So basically any brand that you need, the radio keys, the antenna. Got an old Handtools scope. I don't use this anymore. These things are pretty much garbage. Got a hydraulic crimper right here for battery cable ends. AC gauges right here with the adapters to get to 1234YF. Huge Snap-on fender cover. Probably one of my favorite tools, a little like $10 plastic welder off Amazon. This drawer here, I've got a wheel puller set. Got a 5-ton bearing separator back here. Got a pulley remover and installer set. Got a long reach set here for harmonic balancer, removal and installation. Got Got the snap-on bushing driver set. You can actually use this thing with an air hammer. Got a CV axle puller right here. These are pretty handy. Just hook it up to the slide hammer and pull the CV axle right out. Got a steering knuckle separator here. Alright, down here got the mini Ductor Venom HP. Got a motive coil kit for that. Got a bunch of spare coils just to make sure they're used all the way up. Got a wheel bearing remover and installer so you can do it right on the car. Got one of these C-clamp style ball joint presses right here. Got a bunch of adapter cups for that as well. I've got air hammer pickle forks. And probably one of my favorite tools is the Lyle hub remover. This thing is awesome. Over on this side, got some snap-on magnetic trays. I just put tape on the door so that if there's any metal stuck to the other side of this, it doesn't scratch the drawer up. Got a bunch of different fluids in here, smoke fluid, brake grease, all that kind of stuff. All right, in this drawer, I've got my electrical terminal set right here. Mini picks right here. Seal removers right here. These things actually come in really handy. The shape of these, you can remove a lot of different things. Tons of plastic pry tools. You don't want to damage interiors. Magnifying glass, mirror, long flexible magnet right here. Another more rigid magnet here. Snap-on carbide scraper. Mayhew easy outs or extractors. Spring tools. These things are pretty sweet. They've got every different style of punch, center punch, anything that you're going to need. Got the 4-pack of snap-on files back here. Got some larger radiator picks right here. The snap-on wire insertion tool here, so you can go through grommets, through the firewall, or you can just go in through the dash, run a wire through, pull this back out. Next up, all the screwdrivers, bits, all that kind of stuff are in here. Probably one of my favorite screwdrivers is the Vessel USB rechargeable one. But I've got every style screwdriver you can imagine, right down to this one that works on marine drain plugs like outboard motors. A nice socket driver. Bunch of different styles of trim removal tools. Mini screwdrivers and pry bars. The snap-on ratcheting bit set with the extensions here. All my pry bars are in here. Most of them are the curved style like this, but I do have one flat one for getting out certain CV axles. Got the power drawer here with all of my impacts, drills. I love the Snap-on 3/8 impact. I use this all the time. M12 solder iron. I haven't tried the Snap-on one yet. The Snap-on one does automatically turn off if you tip it over, which is a great selling point. This one doesn't do that. Got a little die grinder here. My 3/8 and 1/2 inch Snap-on impacts. 3050 air hammer. Got the new 14-4 cutoff tool from Snap-on. I've got the right hand drill and left hand drill hyperspeed drill bits. These things are really cool because they're stepped at the beginning. They go through material a lot faster. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there's batteries and chargers in here. This drawer has all of my dead blow hammers. I have the ball peen style right here with the metal caps. Also have the pure dead blow hammers, which have a soft face. Got 3 different sizes of each of those. A rubber mallet, a drilling hammer back here, and I've got a smaller Snap-on slide hammer. Down here we've got the Topdon T-Ninja for programming. Got the bolster mat and the tray right here. These things are pretty sweet. They hold different size bolts, nuts, anything you want. Put them right in the order that you took them out on like a valve or timing cover, and you'll never lose them. Socket drawer up here. We've got 1/4-inch sockets all up here in the front, chrome and impact. These are the Milwaukee M12 insiders that you can actually pass a bolt all the way through. Got the snap-on master set of chrome 3/8. Got all the rest 3/8 and 1/2-inch impacts back there. Got swivel sockets right here, axle sockets, small torque sticks right here, 30, 40, 50 pounds, stuff like that. Spark plug master kit back there. Bunch of different bits and stuff in here, air tire stuff in here, more bits all over in here. Got the carbide burrs right here. These are made by Rodman Drill. These are pretty sweet. This is a snap-on set right here. I really like this one. You can go ahead and slide these right onto your air blowout tool and then get a soft rubber tip here or a bunch of different attachments. Moving back here, a bunch of different bolt extractors, all of my different adapters to switch sizes for sockets right here, Torx bits. These sockets right here are for driving taps. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but they have a square inside of them. Fits perfectly onto taps. Got some stud installers and pullers there. All of my swivels are in line there from 1/4-inch up to 1/2-inch, and E-Torx and some hex stuff in the back. Got my regular torque sticks here, 2 different sets of those for different torque values. Bunch of writing and marking stuff here. These are the shake and brakes, so these go onto your air hammer, and then you can put a socket on this end and you can turn it with a wrench while the air hammer impacts at it. All the SAE sockets are over here. Got a battery carrier, so if you've taken a battery out of like a Traverse or something like that, an Acadia, behind the seat, this makes it really easy. Got my grandpa's old heavy equipment sockets back here. These are some step reamer bits. These things are pretty wild. I forget if these are aluminum titanium nitride or what they are, but these things never get hot to the touch. These are absolutely amazing. So you have different step sizes in here. I think these are like 1/2-inch for each step, so you can go through some monster material. Got the Mayhew dual drive hex back here, SAE and metric. I like them because you can drive them with a ratchet back here or an impact, or you can put a socket around the outside of this and drive it as well. Most important thing you can have in a toolbox is some kind of desiccant dehumidifier. I've got to recharge this one. It's pink already. Over here, another oil filter wrench and all of my sensor sockets. Got all my ratchets and extensions in here. This is a cool tool right here. This is an extension wrench made by Snap-on, so you can put an impact right here on this side, put your socket on the other side, and now you can reach down into something and drive it with an impact. You can never have too many ratchets. Sometimes you need a lot of leverage right here, but you still need low profile and able to get in there with a 3/8. You gotta have stubbies for sure. A lot of times you need a 1/4-inch bit driver like this because you can't get a screwdriver in where you need to. Got a couple of the Snap-on 100-tooth ratchets in here, different sizes. They're pretty nice. They've got a couple of issues. I've talked about them in other videos, but it's a decent ratchet. My favorite, still the dual 80s. Bunch of different 1/4-inch, 3/8, and 1/2-inch extensions. These locking wobbles are really nice. When you lock these together, they still wobble, but they will not pull apart. Got the 3/8 and 1/2-inch tech angle. Got a 36-inch breaker bar. Get a really long locking extension here. This is nice because it's a 1/2-inch drive on this side, 3/8 on this side. So I can get into like bell housings and small areas. Again, it's a locking coupler on there so the bit doesn't go flying off. Over on this side, got the Snap-on 3/8 ratchet, 14.4. Got the high torque version of the same thing. This can do 50 more foot-pounds, but it loses a few RPMs. Got a bunch of micrograin carbide drill bits like Titans. These are amazing. If you need to drill out hardened steel or remove studs or something like that, this will drill through anything. Micrograin carbide is as strong as it gets. It's aluminum titanium nitride coating, so they don't get very hot at all. Got a bunch of helicoil thread repair stuff back here. Got a full tap and die set right here. 8 times out of 10, we're going to be using the Lang thread repair kit though right here. This is just so much easier. It doesn't recreate or damage any threads, it just cleans out existing ones. Then we've got the Nest 5 thread restorer over here. This is an external one that's made for wheel hub studs right here. It just goes on there and spins off. It automatically finds the thread pitch. Got all of our wrenches in here, regular snap-on wrenches, got some gear wrench, ratcheters, metric, same thing over here in SAE. I've got the mountain wrenches right here. These things are pretty cool. So they have like every feature a wrench can have. They have a reversible ratcheting side right here. Their flex head go both directions. Of course, it's a long wrench to give you leverage. I mean, everything you can look for, an offset, a flat side, it's all built into one wrench. By far the most used wrenches in this drawer, the snap-on reversible ratcheters right here. And when you really need torque, Snap-on's got you covered with this heavy-duty one right here. Because this doesn't have the flex head, you can put a ton of torque onto the ratcheting mechanism here or the flat or offset side over here. Got the large wrenches in the back up to 25 millimeter. All line wrenches right here. These are metric, these are imperial. Crow's feet, again, got the imperial and the metric. Got the metric S wrenches right here. You can get around a lot of obstructions with these bad boys. Got a bunch of adjustable wrenches. There's 3 here, 2 more bigger ones back there. Got a wrench extender right here. I really like this one. Got the metric and imperial stubby wrenches right here, and then the large imperial wrenches up to 1 5/8". This is the hardware drawer or junk drawer. Got all of my pliers in here. My 2 favorite sets of pliers are like the Epiq set right here, the Cobras. Any different size of the Cobras. These are amazing. And the Snap-on Talon Eagle grips right here, the ones that can pick up a penny or a nickel by the edge. The grip on these is incredible. Hose clamp pliers you can never have enough of. This is like a traditional pliers right here, grabs onto different styles. This one right here I don't really like because it has a super thin handle and it feels cheesy, but it does have these rotating jaws that grab onto all kinds of spring clamps. And one of my favorites is the remote style like this. This cord is just wrapped up on here, but you can fish this down into a spring clamp, squeeze this down, lock it, and release it when you're done. Spring brake and parking brake removal tools, bunch of different crimpers and a tubing cutter back here, bunch of Melco snap-on vice grips here. I do have this adapter in there from Promax, so it'll go onto a slide hammer, so you can use this as a puller. Electrical diagnostics in here. Got the Knipex automatic wire stripper. This is one of my favorite wire strippers. This is the old standby. It's an automatic one as well. Everybody needs a tool that they trust to crimp an insulated connector. This is the Relay Buddy for testing relays. Has adapters so you can put a bunch of different style relays in here. Got solder, flux, all of that stuff in here. Got a bunch of different test lights. These are from Jarhead Diagnostics. I like them because it's 0.5 or 2.1 amps. This one is 4.4, but probably the most used one that I have as of recent. I just got this about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Used it about 10 times already, but this is from Check Engine Chuck from TikTok. This is his load cage. This is a Decade box right here, so you can enable resistors in here. Each one of these on this one is about 1 watt of heat dissipation that it can take care of. But you can go from 1 ohm all the way up to, you know, millions, like 10 or 11 million ohms by turning these all on. Got just zip ties and stuff in the front one. Back here in these, I have all of my different clips, back probes, stuff like that. But my favorite back probes are these ones from Pico that are flexible like this. Got a bunch of different banana jack adapters. You never know what situation you're going to need to adapt to. different fused loops right here so that you can put this in line in place of a fuse and check the amperage. Got Noid test lights back there for ignition stuff. Snap-on multimeter right here. I don't know if it's the best multimeter in the world, but the selling point is these huge numbers that you can read from a mile away. Got a Power Probe 3 right here. I basically use it to check voltage real quick or issue power or ground. I've got their full short finder kit over here, but usually what I do for finding shorts is just use the test lights as my fuse. Another kind of miscellaneous drawer down here, a bunch of different hoses for troubleshooting different things. Got my grease gun over here. Got a bunch of different spring clamps in here, just basic stuff. Over here I've got all of my scan tools. So I've got the Snap-on Apollo D9. I really don't use this one that much. It's been replaced by the Topdon Phoenix. This has so much more capability. It can do programming, it can do so many things that just can't do. Got the Snap-on TPMS4. This is really handy. It works with a ton of modules, so you're not stuck with just the Autel ones. Got a Snap-on bore scope right here with the 5mm head on it. Got the Topdon Top Scan back here, super cool, connects to your phone. Again, a thermal imager also connects to your phone. Got a small battery maintainer right here. This AES Wave breakout box, this is one of my favorites because it will show activity on the CAN network with these yellow lights. It'll show your battery is working, all of that kind of stuff on here. You can plug into any of these, check resistance, or do whatever you want to do. I've got this Super Goose Plus. This is basically my VCI or my J-Box for connecting to do programming. So this can work on Bluetooth, but for programming, you are supposed to plug it in with the USB cable. But this will work on Ford, GM, so you can use this with SPS, FDRS, like any brand out there. Got a laser heat temp gun right here, a bunch of charging cords over there. All right, got my PicoScope in here and all of my different leads. So this is the PicoScope right here. It's a 4425A, so it has the BNC Plus connections. That means when you plug these in, it auto detects what type of lead it is. One of the coolest things about this scope is it has an individual ground per channel, not a shared one. So you go ahead, plug this lead in and ground this thing out. If you want to do voltage drop testing, you just plug this onto both ends of the circuit and it's going to read the voltage differential. We've got the WPS 500X here from Pico. This thing is pretty incredible. It can handle gasoline in here, like your low pressure fuel pump. It can handle in pressure for sure on spark ignition vehicles. I don't know about diesel, I'd have to check on that. I don't do a lot of heavy duty, but this thing is pretty cool. Back here, like picking up secondary ignition just from coil near plug wiring. Otherwise, we've got probes like this or this, which can do coil on plug. My favorite part of the Pico BNC Plus is that you don't need any batteries in your amp clamps anymore, so these things are always ready to go. Bunch of different hoses and adapters in here, like these go into the exhaust. It's a rigid pipe and then connects onto the WPS. I've also got a pressure pulse sensor, if you know what that is. It's like a delta sensor. I don't use this as much because these are really hard to read the data from. We've got another miscellaneous drawer right here. It has a lot of my brushes. Love to use brass brushes because they don't scar up steel. Also have nylon brushes, stuff like that. A heat gun over here. Down in this one, I have a bunch of cam and timing holding tools. Got battery terminal crimpers here, chain breaker, chain, transmission fill adapters in here, bolt cutter. This is a nice fan clutch holder right here. Well, hopefully that gives you some ideas for toolbox organization.